Prepare to be amazed as we unveil the recent discovery of a gate to the Garden of Eden, the dwelling place created by God for the first man. Archaeologists have stumbled across a remarkable finding in the holy city of Israel. This extraordinary discovery closely resembles the descriptions found in ancient texts that depict the mythical paradise. Will this discovery give us insight into the creation of man? Join us as we delve into the fascinating details of the gate to the Garden of Eden in Israel. During a recent expedition in the historically significant region of Tel Lachish, archaeologists made an astounding discovery in the heart of the Middle East, within the ancient lands of Israel. This remarkable archaeological work has captured the attention of scholars and ignited the imagination of many. Unveiling a chapter from humanity's distant past, researchers have unearthed what is believed to be the gate to the Garden of Eden. This extraordinary discovery shows many details that we found similar to the descriptions given in the Bible. Biblical history provides insights into the ancient stories that have shaped our collective consciousness for thousands of years. The garden, a place of mythical beauty and the birthplace of humanity, is said to be as old as man, as it existed before the first man, Adam. This gate suggests that the stories passed down through generations may have been rooted in historical events, given credibility to the written text of history, mythology, and faith. The Garden of Eden is prominently featured in the book of Genesis, particularly in the 2nd chapter. It is described as a garden planted by the Lord God in Eden, located in the east. The origin of the word Eden remains uncertain, with some suggesting it may have originated from an Assyrian term meaning field, while others relate to a Hebrew word signifying paradise. The Genesis narrative presents Eden as a dwelling place for the first man and woman, abundant with various plants and animals. Notably, it includes the renowned tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Adam and Eve are specifically instructed not to eat from the latter tree, but they succumb to temptation from Satan, who came in the form of a serpent. In the popular understanding of the Garden of Eden, the snake plays a central role and is described as the most cunning creature made by God. The serpent tempts Eve to eat from the forbidden tree of knowledge, then leads Adam to disobedience too, an act that leads to the fall of man. However, God expels them from the garden, appointing angels to guard the way to the tree of life, preventing humanity from attaining eternal life while corrupted by sin. Following their expulsion, Adam and Eve introduce the concept of labor and eventually bear children who commit the first recorded act of murder. Although Eden is not revisited by any characters in the Bible after Adam and Eve's expulsion, references to the garden can be found in various prophecies in the book of Ezekiel. For instance, in one passage, God's message compares the mighty Egyptian Pharaoh to the cedar trees in the Garden of Eden, emphasizing that God can bring down even the most impressive creature. The location of the Garden of Eden has been a subject of debate for centuries. The biblical account mentions 4 rivers: Pishon, Gihon, Tigris, and Euphrates. The Tigris and Euphrates are commonly identified, but identifying the other 2 has been more challenging. According to traditional interpretations, the Pishon flows around the land of Havilah, often associated with India, making the river either the Indus River. The Gihon is said to sail around the land of Cush, usually identified as Ethiopia, making it the Nile River. The fact that these rivers do not physically connect is explained by the belief that the topography drastically changed due to Noah's flood. Let's talk about the discovery in Israel. The Garden of Eden, one of the most famous locations in the Bible, now has physical proof that it is a real place. While discovering the gate to the Garden of Eden in Israel is undoubtedly exciting, we still need to learn more about its location. The Garden of Eden was described as a lush paradise with flowing rivers and abundant fruit trees. However, we don't know what kind of flowers and fruit would have thrived in the region at the time. However, Scholars have debated the actual location of the Garden of Eden for centuries. Some believe it is in present-day Iraq, while others think it was in Ethiopia or in the Mediterranean. The discovery of the gate in Israel complicates this debate even further. Moreover, the discovery of the gate does not provide any definitive evidence of the existence of Adam and Eve or the events described in the Bible. It is important to remember that while we can gain valuable insights into the history through archaeology, it does not provide any conclusive proof, and we cannot rely on them, like biblical stories, as historical facts. The discovery of the gate in Israel is a significant archaeological work. The gate was discovered in the ruins of a city called Tel Lachish. The town was inhabited during the Iron Age around 2,800 years ago. Archaeologists found the gate while excavating the site in 2019. The gate is significant because of its intricate design. It is adorned with animals and symbols commonly associated with Eastern mythology during that time. The gate is believed to have been a ceremonial entrance to a sacred space that may have been related to the Garden of Eden. The gate is approximately 24 feet wide and 28 feet tall and is made of mud bricks. Archaeologists also found evidence of other structures and artifacts in the area, including a large stone altar, pottery, and figurines. The discovery of the gate has generated great excitement among archaeologists and biblical scholars. It has sparked renewed interest in the search for the Garden of Eden and has opened up new avenues of research into biblical history and mythology. Delving into biblical clues, the Bible provides intriguing hints about the possible location of the Garden of Eden, suggesting that it is not merely a figment of mythology, but an actual place on earth. It references areas of the 4 rivers associated with this paradise, and the mention of the land Cush in connection with Gihon indicates a northeastern location near the Persian Gulf. These clues point to Mesopotamia as a potential region where the Garden of Eden once thrived. Archaeologist Jody Magnus has presented a fascinating theory regarding the location of the Garden of Eden. Based on her research and discoveries in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, she proposes that Adam's burial site lies beneath the rocky outcrop of Golgotha, where Jesus was crucified and resurrected. According to Magnus, the tradition linking Adam to this spot dates back centuries within Christianity. While this theory sparks curiosity, it is essential to acknowledge that the Garden of Eden might forever remain elusive as a physical place in the past. Due to the effects of human sin, it is unlikely to exist in its original form today. The biblical narrative portrays it as an environment untouched by sin. But with the fall of Adam and Eve and the subsequent Great Flood, the entire earth underwent significant geological transformations. The unknown locations of the Gihon and Pishon rivers suggest that drastic geographical alterations occurred between the time of Adam and Moses. Considering the absence of any structural building or tools mentioned in the Garden of Eden, it is impossible to find direct archaeological evidence. However, the detailed description of the river's locations implies that at least part of Genesis was written before the Great Flood. This raises intriguing questions about the history and authenticity of the biblical accounts. Following Adam and Eve's expulsion, Genesis 3:24 mentions that God placed cherubim and a flaming sword at the east entrance of Eden, guarding it to prevent humans from re-entering. While the flaming sword is easily visualized, cherubim carry a different meaning than the popular image of chubby angel babies. According to biblical descriptions, cherubim are portrayed as hybrid creatures combining elements of humans, oxen, eagles, and lions. Like a turning chariot wheel, they are depicted as upholding God's throne and moving forward with unwavering determination. These beings are also associated with the statues of cherubim on the mercy seat, the cover of the Ark of the Covenant, where God is believed to reside. The Ark of the Covenant is a unique chest that held the original engraved tablets of the 10 Commandments, which were given to Moses by God on Mount Sinai, a pot of manna, a miraculous food provided by God during the Israelites' journey in the wilderness, and Aaron's rod as a symbol of priesthood and authority. The ark symbolized God's presence among the Israelites and held great religious and historical significance. The Ark of the Covenant was a sacred object described in the Old Testament. The Israelites built the ark in the Sinai desert after leaving Egypt. There is some debate among scholars about how it actually occurred. It was a chest made of acacia wood and covered with gold. The cover featured two cherubim, angelic figures with outstretched wings, facing each other and overshadowing the mercy seat with their wings, just like it was described on the gate of the Garden of Eden. The Ark of the Covenant was central to Israelite worship and ceremonies. It was kept in the most holy place, the inner sanctuary of the tabernacle, which is a portable worship structure during the Israelites' journey in the wilderness. The presence of God was believed to dwell between the cherubim on the mercy seat, just like in the days when Adam was in the Garden of Eden. And the high priest would enter the Holy of Holies once a year on the Day of Atonement to make atonement for the sins of the people. The ark was believed to possess mystical powers according to the biblical stories. For instance, the Jordan River stopped flowing when priests carrying the ark crossed it, and Jericho's tall and mighty walls fell. There are also accounts of the ark being taken into battle, where it supposedly helped the Israelites defeat their enemies. However, the ark was captured by the Philistines and taken to the temple of the god Dagon in Ashdod. Regarding the whereabouts of the Ark of the Covenant, the Hebrew Bible states that it is moved around frequently, but eventually came to rest in Jerusalem, placed in the innermost chamber of the Temple of Solomon. The first permanent temple of God was built by King Solomon. Initially, God instructed the Israelites to construct a portable tabernacle, but David desired to build a permanent structure. God promised to establish David's throne permanently and have David's son build a house for him. Solomon, David's son, constructed the temple on Mount Moriah in Jerusalem, which served as Israel's main place of worship for about 400 years until it was destroyed by the Babylonians in 586 BC. The temple was located on the Temple Mount, a 36-acre area on Mount Moriah, also known as Zion. After the first temple's destruction, King Cyrus permitted the Jews to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple after 70 years of captivity. However, opposition from the people and laziness among the Jews caused delays in the construction. God urged the Jews to complete the task through the prophet Haggai, and eventually, the new temple was constructed in the same spot as the original one around 515 BC. The second temple was smaller and inferior to the first temple, but remained a central place of worship and existed during Jesus Christ's birth, but was destroyed by the Romans in 70 AD. Many people believe that a third temple needs to be rebuilt for specific end-time prophecies to be fulfilled. While the Bible doesn't explicitly mention a third temple, it does refer to a man of sin who will set himself up on God's temple proclaiming to be God. The idea of a third temple has intrigued many, particularly Jews and Christians, who value the temple's significance in Israelite history. The site of the last temple is now occupied by the Noble Sanctuary, which is believed to be where the Islamic prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven. The Temple Mount holds political and religious sensitivities, making any attempt to build a third temple highly contentious. Many Jews believe rebuilding the temple is necessary to fulfill biblical prophecy and to restore its centrality in Jewish worship. Jesus spoke about the temple of God several times in the New Testament, referring to his own body as a temple. He talked about his death and resurrection, indicating that he would be raised from the dead after 3 days. He explained that a time would come when true worshipers would not be limited to a specific physical location like the Garden of Eden or the temple in Jerusalem. Instead, true worship would be in the spirit and truth, as God is spirit. Regardless of the exact location of the gate, let's be reminded that God's divine presence is everywhere. Please share your opinions in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for more. We'll see you in the next video.